oh, come on, like, what are we supposed to do about this?
Jack, Nigel, Jeff in Las Vegas, thank you for joining me today to talk about Boys from County Hell.
Hey, Jeff, cheers for having us.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Well, Jack, you know, an Irish vampire movie, I guess it had to happen sooner or later.
No, mate, it had to. And you know what, funny enough, my dad is actually from Ireland, so I've got a very close connection to the place. And from literally my grandparents live 5 minutes from Nigel. You know, and we just over there. And that's like, honestly, the tiniest little town in Ireland known to man. Like, even when I'm talking to people from Ireland, I sometimes don't even say it because they don't know it. You know what I mean? So, being, as you say, man, it was always on the list. Do you know what I mean? So an absolute pleasure being able to go back to a place I hold very close and get the accent on screen, you know?
And Nigel, you know, the Irish, you know, when I visited there in Dublin, and I took the haunted tour, they said it was the most haunted city in the world was Dublin. So I'm like, growing up, what kind of Irish folklore was there that scared you? Maybe the banshee, is that Irish?
Yeah, the banshee is an Irish thing. That's when someone dies and there's a wake, you know, where the body's laid out to rest in the home or whatever for a couple of days. And then if there's this wailing sound outside, that's the banshee apparently. So I've never heard it now, but apparently it's folklore. I don't know. People have heard it. I don't know what it is, but it's like a cat, you know, that sort of a noise. But it's scary. That scared me when I was young, you know. But now I don't know. Everything scares me now.
And Jack, I understand that this movie started out as a short film.
Yeah, I mean that I wasn't part of that. Nigel was in that though. Because that was like, I believe that the boys like Chris and Brendan, like before ever doing a feature, they had the idea to like sort of, I don't know. Yeah, Nigel, I'm sure you're the best to answer this.
Yeah, well, there was years ago, Chris and Brendan had wanted to make this film. There was a different version than it is what we see now, but we started off. Well, they started off making a short version of it. That's what they could get made at the time. I think that was 2011, 12, around that time. So that's when I first met Brendan and Chris. So again, it was like this shoot here. It was a great shoot to be on. It was great crack. We did it up on top of a mountain. It was with the same characters with Eugene and SP and Francie and all that sort of thing. There was less characters, obviously, but something generally similar. They were working on a roadside and mending the fence, and this vampire comes along and they kill the vampire and all that sort of thing. But it was great, and we shot it up on top of what's called the Black Mountain in Belfast, and it was very cold on a January night shoot, which was freezing, but it was great. It was great. It was a great experience, and so it developed from there. That's when I met them first, Chris and Brendan, and they were always, over the years, we always talked about when we're going to do the feature, when the feature's going to happen, and you'll hopefully play Francie and all this. And I said, God knows where I'll be then and whatever. So I'm hoping Francie is, from that time to now, I hope there's a few new things about him. He's lived a bit, you know, there's a bit of life. I've lived a bit, so hopefully there's more nuances come out in him. I hope so anyway, I don't know.
And Jack, your character is responsible for the vampire's release. He drinks too much. He's a prankster, but he put the whole town in danger, didn't he?
And he regrets none of it. You know, in a way, it was a cry out to connect with his dad. Do you know what I mean? That's how I like to see it. That's, you know, I connected very well to that sort of character. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? But reading that script from day one, like even on paper, I couldn't help but think, like, down the line, I really want to get this part. I really want to do them scenes. And now, having done the movie, I always say this, it was like the most fun I've had on a shoot ever. Like, I've done like plenty of stuff in plenty of different places, but I don't know, there was something magical about it. The cast, everything, the way Chris set about, like the environment was everyone was allowed to take risks and have fun. And I think that comes across on screen. And hopefully for Eugene, that does as well. But it's funny, even with a vampire on the loose, him and his dad still can't help themselves but bicker and argue, you know. And as you say, there's nice, funny moments because of it, but there's also very sort of sad and soft moments. And it's a nice mix.
And that's what I think really is the success of the movie, the blend of humor, but it makes it thrilling and funny. And Nigel, was there any kind of improv on the set, or was it all the written word in the script?
No, Chris is very good that way. He's not precious about his words. He likes to, obviously likes to say as much as he can, but we had, as Jack says, we had lots of freedom and to improvise with the words, to improvise in the scene. And sometimes that's when, because everything's so relaxed and the way Chris works, it's a very relaxed set, and you feel free to improvise and to try your own things, and out of that comes magical moments. So there was lots of that.
Sometimes it works. And it doesn't work, you know. But the fact that you're allowed to take that risk, I suppose it's a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it really helped the characters in the setting. Tell me about being around all the blood and the special effects. I mean, because in the CGI world, I love seeing real effects happen on screen.
Yeah. Well, we had loads of because obviously you shoot a movie out of sequence, literally, but most of the shoot we have some smear of blood across the face, but there was different clothing we had to wear, and it just got progressively more bloody. So you had 5 of the same shirt, and I'm like, oh, is it that day? With an absolute, just like you've spilled spaghetti all over you or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm all good with blood. I'm all good with blood and stuff like that. And it's nice to sort of walk around legally with a baseball bat and just be like, yeah, come at me. Do you know what I mean? we all had our weapon of choice as each character. Yeah.
And Nigel, I love how the setting of the town is where the real Dracula supposedly lived and breathed. And they actually use his book as kind of like a guidebook to survive.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's real or not, but it's a nice little thing about it. There's lots of folk laws in Ireland here, different things, you know what I mean? So that was one of them. I don't know where Chris took liberty of that or not, but no, it's quite a nice little thing in the way the guys, sort of the characters, play on the fact that Dracula visited here and all this, and so I think it's a nice wee way of playing on it, I think. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for talking to me today. A really funny movie and gory at the same time. Now I'm on Shudder, on AMC Shudder. So thank you both, and come visit us in Las Vegas, and I'll come visit you guys in Ireland.
Great. I'll be back to Las Vegas. I'll bring my mug.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Jeff. Cheers, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.